So we'll be talking about skirt block today. The front and the back skirt block. So I've ruled the line. So this is going to serve as our center front. Let me turn it this way. So this is our center front. CF rather. Center front and our CB center back. As usual, we'll come down from our borderline by 1 inch. The next thing we want to take is our skirt measurement. So the first thing we want to take is from our waistline. We'll come down by 9 inches or 10 inches for our waist to hip measurement. Well, in this case, it varies. It depends on where you usually put your skirt. So you might want to ask your clients, where do you put your skirts? Is it, some people have usually put their skirt, above their belly button. Some like it to be low waist, like at the upper hip level. So wherever the person likes to put a skirt, that is where we are going to take it from. All right, so from that point, you measure to the person's hip, the hip line. So it varies depending on wherever the person puts it. So for the sake of this class, I'll be doing 9 inches for this person. 9 inches. Then I'll take the underbutt, or I can even skip the underbutt and go straight to the kneecap. So the kneecap, from the waist to the kneecap, could be around 19 or 20 inches for this class. And then the full length of the skirt, let's assume it is 34 and half, because that's all we have for this pattern. So we'll do the same thing for the back. We'll do 9, we'll do 19, and we'll do 34 and half. Okay, so we'll take that on straight lines. All right, so this is going to be like our zip allowance. All right, the next thing I want to take here is our dart. Your dart, let's assume it is this 4 inches. You do the same thing for the back, from the zip allowance side, 4 inches, and then you take your half. For the front, your dart comes down by 6 inches. For the back, you do 4 inches. It doesn't necessarily have to be long at the back. Okay. We connect this on straight lines. I want to confirm if it is straight. Okay, the next thing I want to impute now is my waist measurement. Let's assume the waist measurement for this person is, let's say it's 28, and then if we return our dot 1 inch, so 28, that will be 7 inches, and then returning of our dot 1 inch. Okay, for the hip of this person, we're using 11, which is the center line here that we see. And then for the lower part here, that's the kneecap, I'll be coming in by, now let's not forget that this kneecap exactly is not exactly the kneecap. It's like it's going to be like 2 inches above the exact kneecap. All right, because if we take the measurement on the exact kneecap, that means your client will not be able to walk. She'll be having difficulties having easy movement from that position. So you want to go up from the kneecap a little bit upwards, say by 2 inches or 1.5. All right, so since what we have on the hip line here is, this is our waist, is 11, what we want to do here is that we want to take away 1.5 from this measurement and have our knee cap area to be 9.5 instead of 11. So I am minusing 1.5 from this, from 11, and I'm having 9.5 left. This 9.5 is what I'm going to take all the way to the length, the full length of the skirt. I hope we got that. All right, so I'm going to be connecting all of these lines with my ruler, my curve. You can also do 2 inches here if the fabric you're using is quite stretchy. I'm going to be highlighting everything with our marker, so we can see properly. Okay, let's do the highlighting now. We still have some alterations to do. Around the waist area. So this is our front. Okay, now at this point I'll come to the front here, the center front. I'll come down by 1 inch. Why am I coming down by 1 inch? By the time we close this dart, we take this dart, something is going to be happening to this part of our skirt. All right, and it will be looking a little bit rumpled, as if we have some folds there. All right, like it's not smooth on the body. So usually what we do, I don't know if you notice, for our advanced designers, anytime you take a dart, it looks as though your cloth is no longer leveled anymore, as if it has lost some shape. All right, so, and at the end of the day, towards the hip region in front, I mean the center front of your skirt, you will see it as if it, you look at it as if it has a little bit of rumples there. So what we usually do is to push that excess fabric that we have there, we push it upwards and have that place to look very smooth. All right, so that is what we are trying to achieve here. But before we do that, I would have to close my dart temporarily so I can do that connection there. So what I was trying to say is something that looks like this. All right, so when you close it, this is what you have here. So if we cut this guy off, so we try to kind of like, I don't know if you can see this, what is happening here, what usually happens around the skirt. I know there is no bump at this front here, so something will be affected here. So what we want to do is to push that excess fabric up and cut it off. That way it lays flat properly. All right, so before we take that, connect that part to the waist, we have to close the dart temporarily. I'll go with my pencil first, and then the marker comes thereafter. Okay, we come to this other side here. Now whatever it is that has happened here, you want to push it up a little bit at this point by 1/2 inch. All right, just a little bit, say like 1/2 inch, just to raise it a little bit, giving it that defined waistline there. Or you can just leave it that way anyways. All right, coming to our back, we want to raise this place a little bit, just a little bit, this back waistline. All right, we want to raise it up just a little bit, for a little bit of coverage. So we'll be going up there by, say, 1 inch. Or we can just do half. Let's do half, and then we come down, connecting it to this part here directly. Now at the center back area here, we want to take a little bit of that at that part. Now, there's a way this back usually, have this effect. If you don't put that, I don't know how to explain it now, but the thing is, you want to take a little bit of that at this particular point. I don't know if you remember our video that we made the last time on our back and front and back bodice block, where we did that zip bulge thing that made it look slanty. All right, let me try and see if I can do a little bit of illustration for the back view here. So let's assume this is our waist. I hope you can see this, our neckline rather, and then we have this armhole, then we have our defined waist, and this is coming all the way down here. And then I said we are taking a zip bulge, right? So we have our dart sitting somewhere here. I hope we can see this. Now, I said we are taking in some inches, connecting it back and forth this way. And then I said we'll be cutting off this part. So making our back look like this. Our back will not be looking like this. That was where someone asked the question, how are we going to fix the zip on that line and then it to be straight? Like I was saying the other time, our back is not even straight in the first place. So now, let's assume this is an half top. And then this part of it is the skirt part. Let's even assume this is a gown, right? Now, let's assume we cut this part off from this cloth, serving as our skirt part of the gown. This is the top, right? You know that if I take this pin, if I take my zip bulge for the one that remember the one we did yesterday, the last class that we did, how we took away this part here, and then for the lower part here it continues. So this part here that we're taking a bulge here is what is going to be reflecting at this point. I don't know, I'm going to explain it, but if you don't understand, please ask me questions in the comment section or drop it in our chat box so I can find a better way to explain it. But for now, I think this is the way I can explain it. But of course, you can ask questions. I'll be very much available to answer the questions. Okay, so at this point, I want to go inward, coming inward by ½ inch or 1, right? That 1 inch, by coming by 1 inch, it will be giving the back a defined shape. All right, making that bomb effect to come out very well. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. So let me do this. So that means by the side and at the center back, you're going to be having 2 shapes. All right, so I'm going to, whatever it is I'm doing there, I'm going to be returning it here so that our waist can still be intact. So I'll connect this guy to this place here. And then I'll connect this one also back to the hip. So this is what we have here now. Well, if you practice it, you will understand, I promise you. Coming to the knee region, around this knee, you will go in a little bit by 0.25 or by ½ inch. No, let's say half. We'll go in by ½ of an inch. Return that half that we have taken to the side, of course, so that we are not short of anything. And then we give it another defined effect. That way we are snatching the back, the bum part, giving it that bum effect at the back here. By the time it gets to the knee part, it is looking like it is going inward and then flowing out down directly to this part. So the same thing is going to be happening here. Okay, so now that we have this is what we'll be using to cut our skirt for the class. If you have any questions, please do well to ask. I would have said we should alter this, but let me take it gradually. We would be going into a little bit of technicality later during the week or next week, but I want to finish the basic block first. So our next class we'll be taking is going to be on trouser. So but for now, this is all that we have. All right, and then of course our zipper will be adjusted to give us our exact zip allowance that we're going to be using. If it is 1 inch you use for your zipper, you use it all the way down to the end of it all right, but for now, this is what we have for our skirt block. Thank you very much for joining us today.